Okay, this is the last part of CS Discovery's Unit 2, Lesson 6, which is styling text with CSS, and we're just on exercise 12 here. There's a few different exercises we need to go through. First of all, for this one, they want us to find the CSS rule set that determines the style for the paragraph tag. We want to change the font family and choose either serif, sans serif, cursive, fantasy, or monospace, and then add a font family rule for the H1 and H3 tags. So we've got our linked style sheet here in the head section. So let's go ahead and go over to the style sheet. We'll go to paragraph, we'll change the font family. Let's try fantasy, see what that looks like. All right, and then we will go ahead and add some font family rules for H1 and H3. So here's our H1 section of rules, and let's do a font family of monospace. There we go, and then we'll do one for H3 as well. Let's go ahead and create a rule set here, and let's do font family. We'll just try sans serif, so we don't have that one there yet as an example. And we can do font size 16 pixels. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and move to the next one. Extra code underlining. So in this one, we are going to double underline the H4 tag. So we'll need to choose from either underline, overline, or line through, and then add a text decoration rule for H1, H2, or H3, or the paragraph. So we've got our link style sheet here. So if we come over here, we can go to the H4, we've got the underline double, and let's go ahead and choose from one of these three. We're going to change it to overline. And now we see there's a line that goes over it right here instead. Okay, now we'll just do some text decoration for the paragraph. Let's say for the paragraph, let's do a underline. And now our paragraphs are all underlined. Okay, and that's all we really need to do for that one. So let's move to the next one, which is aligning the text. And we've got text align, which we'll be using to align the text from side to side. And they want us to find the from Wikipedia and the H6 tag and align it to the right side. So we'll do that first. We've got H6. And they want us to actually change. Let's see here. So we found this. It looks like they don't want us to change it. But they do want us to change the H1 tag. So it's aligned to the center of the page. So let's go to H1, text align, and then center. And now this H1 is in the middle. Okay, and they want us to change the alignment of the paragraph tag as well. So we've got a paragraph tag. Let's go text dash align, and let's make this centered as well. Why not? And that's it for that one. Okay, we've got a few more left. Letter spacing over here. They want us to find the orchids. So we've got, for H1, we've got our spacing as 5 pixels. And it looks like, so that's right here. And then they want us to change the H2 tag so the letters are spaced by 2 pixels. So just like we've got our letter spacing here, we'll put one for the H2, but we're going to change it to 2 pixels. Spacing 2px stands for 2 pixels. And then we want to change the letter spacing of the paragraph and H3 as well. So let's go to H3 and we'll say letter spacing. Let's do 2 pixels there. And then paragraph, letter spacing, 3 pixels. This is going to look really bad. But there we go. They're kind of spread out. It's a little harder to read, but they want us to just change them just so we are familiar with how to do that. So we've got a couple more left. text shadow. So they want us to find the CSS code and the H1 tag for Stradivarius violins. So if we've got our H1 here, we've got our text shadow. It's got -2 pixel, -2 pixel, and black. So that's shifting the shadow here, left and, sorry, -2 pixels and 2 pixels. So that's what's giving it our shadow. We're going to go to H2. So we've got, let's go ahead and put one here, text shadow. Okay, if we expand these out here, we can see some commonly asked questions. So let's figure out what these values do, okay? So we can choose between negative and positive. Negative numbers move the shadow left or up, while positive move the shadow to the right or down. So they want us to be 2 pixels to the right and then up. So let's try this. -2. And 2. Let's try. Is that going in the right direction? Yeah, I'm having a hard time telling which one is switching the shadow up or to the right. So you can play around with these numbers here and see what they do. And one shifts it one way, one shifts it the other. So I've just gone ahead and changed this to black here so we can actually see the shadow, and it looks like this 2 pixels here is shifting it to the right, and then this -2 pixels is shifting this upwards. Okay, and that's, you can see it's up and to the right of that text. Okay, so they want us to give a text shadow to the others as well. What we can do is, if we want to make it a little bit easier, we can just copy and paste this. So, and then we can just change the color if we want to, or which direction we're going. Okay, so depending on which direction, you can use a negative or positive for left or right, or then negative or positive for up and down. So we'll throw one more in here, and wow, that is very difficult to read. All right, let's go ahead and move to the next one. So we've got one last one. So you can just, on this one, you can just design your own page with as many styles as you can think of. So this one you can go ahead and work on your own, using what you learned in the previous exercises. So just remember, you link your style sheet first. Okay, and then we're going to say href equals, and then style.css. So we've got it linked here. Let's go ahead and make sure we close that out. And then we can go ahead and start writing our rules, and we'll also need to write our code here as well.